Okay, so this is the beginning of more math. Yes, Kelly, more math. This is right as we start recording. This is the beginning of week 3 of business math. We're halfway done, though, Kelly. Halfway done, and not everybody can be like Kalia, who's just an overachiever. She's like, I don't like my 99. Can I have a 99.5? But uh, so this is Monday, 5/20/23. I'm completely off now. Um, Beginning of the third week, we're halfway done. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. The only thing is, always say, make sure if you're behind on your discussions, catch those up, because those will bite you. And especially in this class, those are the best way to keep your grades up, is with those discussions, because that they're 25% of your grade plus showing up to class, so there's 35% of your grade. So you get a little bit of room to uh, on your Cengage assignments. I'm not sharing my screen yet, which is fine. I want to make sure I get who came in. Andrew, I was just griping at people for not having their discussions done. So you got to, and sorry, I just woke up. I took a nap before my first class, so I can't be mad at you. So let's look at chapter 7. Chapter 7 is one that's kind of near and dear to my heart, because I used to deal with this all the time. I was a purchasing manager for a branch of a small branch of a much larger company here in Tulsa back in the mid 90s. A place called Hoydale. They actually closed it up. Excuse me. And allergies are terrible today. I think I grab about those every week, but today was really brutal. And part of it is trade and cash discounts. And so we're going to go over what that means. I have my whiteboard ready. Okay, so the first few problems on here, they are pretty self-explanatory. They are, hey, identify the invoice number, identify this and that. Everybody should be able to do that. Just like on this one here, it says, what is the invoice number? There it is right there. What's the other one? Who is the salesperson? All this stuff right here. It's all pretty self-explanatory. So we're not going to worry about invoicing too much. Now, what I do always tell people, what is the other one? What is the unit price for a 1/2-inch standard masking tape? Okay, so 1/2-inch standard right here, 2170 a unit. Do look these over and know how to read them though, because it does help. And always watch your invoicing. Invoices are wrong a lot. I do notice that when I was in purchasing and when I was running my own company, that was one of the places where you'd find a lot of mistakes. Now, complete the following. You just take the quantity times the unit price and get your total price on everything here. Your invoice subtotal is going to be the total prices here all added together. But just so you know, shipping, insurance, things like that are going to go down on a separate line item. And then you're going to have an invoice total. So your subtotal is just going to be adding up all the stuff you ordered. Okay. And I'm kind of going through these kind of slow. So if you need to stop this later, you can see it. What we're going to get into is trade discounts. All right. First thing in trade discounts, we need to understand that how they did it when I was in the equipment business is you would get a catalog and a retail price sheet. Okay. And you would have to figure out your own prices based on that. And it was usually your discount was based on your previous year's volume. And this is kind of standard in a lot of industries. So let's just look at this one. Number 5. This looks like this is probably the bare minimum discount. So if you're ordering from this company, you get 12%. That's going to be the lowest discount you get. First thing with discounts, though, percentages are good for a. Oh, Jamie's here. Gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me pause this for a minute. Make sure I get Jamie in. All right. That's just about everybody. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So your trade discount rate is how much, what as a percentage, what they're going to take off the retail price to figure your cost. Now, that one's easy to do. Now, just remember that as far as the math goes, we always want to change that percentage into a decimal. So you're just going to take and to change a percentage to a decimal. Now, there's an understood decimal at the end of that 12, right? So in order to change it, you move that decimal point 2 places to the left. So 12% becomes 0.12. Pretty easy. And then to figure out what your discount is, how much you're taking off of this price, you're going to take the list price times the 0.12, and it is going to give you how much you're going to take off of it. And let's look. You guys want me to use an actual calculator, or do you want me to put it on a spreadsheet? You guys want to see a spreadsheet? Do anybody have any actual calculator? Okay. And we should get the same numbers they have here. So we have 155.50. And we're going to multiply it times, like I said, the 0.12. That's going to give us 866. Now that's our discount, right? So our cost is going to be, and they're not asking for that yet. But let's just go ahead and figure it. Our cost is going to be our 155.50 minus our 1866. So this is what you're going to pay. This is the difference between what you pay and the list price is. And the list price is usually decided by a lot of these retail companies. Actually, when I was in the and we're going to get into the more complicated discount structures here very quickly. But, and like I said, it always depended for us on last year's volume. So let's look at number 6. Calculate the trade discount and net price, which is just what we did. 0.25 times 287 is going to be 71.75. They write down here for us. Take our net price is going to be our list price minus our discount, give us 215.25. That's pretty straightforward on figuring out your pricing, right? Now, depending on the industry, how you price it is going to be dependent on you, right? You have very few industries will allow you to charge over list price. Okay, there may be some reason you can do that, but the list price is usually the top price. And so this is what you have to play with on your profit right here. Now, net price factor, okay, and net price. Now, your net price factor is going to be simply, and these are terms you just need to learn, which is going to be 100% minus your trade discount rate or your trade discount percentage. Okay, which means that gives you another number you can work here with. You can take the 64% times your list price and go ahead and figure out your price. So that kind of takes one step out, right? What do you think, Kelly? This is not too bad so far. This is where it's going to get, it's going to move. I'm moving pretty quickly here. Just so I just want you guys to kind of know what net price factor means, net price means, trade discount, all those terms, because they're going to come into play here pretty quick. Okay, so calculate the trade discount and trade discount rate, round your out answer to the nearest percent. So what they give us here, and this is all a manipulation. Remember when we did these that little bit of algebra on how to do formulas and manipulate everything? This is why we do that. So first off, we know our list price and we know our net price, we know our cost, and we know the list price, the retail price. We can just do a quick subtraction. We know what our actual trade discount in dollars is, right? Now, in order to figure your discount rate, you're going to take that trade discount, the actual money, over your list price. It becomes one of those hated fractions. Okay. So we're going to just plug that into the calculator. 965 divided by 4,500. I know we see it here. Now, if you look 0.214 out into infinity, right? We move this over 2 places. The way to go, so you go from a decimal to a percentage, we move it to the right 2 places, or another way to do that is to multiply that times 100. When you do that, that gives 21.4444444%. Okay. And then we just have to look and see what they're asking for. Round your answer to the nearest tenth of a percent. So once we get that percentage out of the way, here's our place. We look over to the right. It's below 5, so we don't do anything with it. It just becomes 21.4%. Right? Remember our rounding. And that's our pretty straightforward answer. Okay. Once again, we're doing the same thing over. How many problems are there's quite a few problems on this one. They buy some merchandise with a list price of $3,400. They give you a 30% discount. What is your trade discount? Your trade discount being in dollars, how much you're able to take off your list price here. 0.30 times 3,400. One of the things that, oh, Andrew said he's been using Excel because he can write out his steps. Yep. I love Excel. I love a spreadsheet. And the reason I do, you do this. Well, now, how it's supposed to work. Is because I can set this math up. Let's look here. Let's say we have list. We have our discount percentage. And then we want to figure our discount in dollars. I said in dollars. Okay. Now we know our trade discount as dollars is going to be our list price times our discount rate. And so I already have that set up. I can go over here, turn that into dollars. Okay. Our list price here was $3,400. Oh, let me turn this into money as well. I hate it when I do that. And then our discount is going to be 30%. That's 0.30. I'm going to change this to a percentage. All right, so now that we've set this all up like this, all we have to do is any number. I'm going to highlight this one just for, okay, just so we know that we're not going to put anything in here. This is where we're going to find our answer. These other two numbers, now I've caught myself in here trying to pretty it up. So it looks like, oh, doggone it. Okay. And then anytime I put any numbers in here, it goes ahead and figures it for me. And I never have to set it back up again, right? There we go. I forget to make it bigger sometimes. So that's why we like Excel. And we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Okay, this one, and pay attention to what they're asking for. On this other one, they want to know, was your trade discount? On this one, they want to know, what is the net price? So you figure your trade discount. Two ways to do it though, right? I can take 4,700 times 0.3 to get my discount, then subtract that by 40 from 4,700, and that's going to give that to me. Or we can do like they did down here, 100% minus 30% is 70%. 70 times 4,700 is going to be 3,290. So either way, make this a little bit bigger for you, Kelly. All right, now, and these formulas are going to make it easy. Like I said, that's why I'm showing these to you here. Trade discount rate is equal to trade discount divided by list price, which is what we did earlier, right? So you have $13,400 is your list price, $87.10 is your price. You subtract that out to get your trade discount, which is $46.90. $46.90 divided by your list price gives you your rate. Pay attention to if they tell you to round it, pay attention to how far they tell you to round it to. Easy peasy. Like I said, I know, here we go. Number 12. This is where it gets a little messy. When I was in the equipment, the lube equipment business, don't laugh at that. It's not what you think, I promise. Or maybe it is. It was for motor oils, mostly hydraulic oils, grease, things of that nature. It was downstream lubricants. And you have to have specialized equipment to move that stuff in bulk. Now, so if I did like $100,000 worth of business the year before, I would get like a 26% discount. Now, if I did $250,000 before, I would get a 26 and a 15% discount. And then let's say I did a $500,000 the year before, they would extend me a 26% discount, a 15% discount, and a 5% discount. Okay. And these are discounts stacked on top of each other. Okay. And that's real life stuff. I spent years doing this. Now, what it is not is it is not 26 plus 15 plus 5, which is what, 35, 40, 40, 46. It is not a 46% discount. Okay. That is not what that means. How this is done is it is to find your net price factor on this, which is what do you have to multiply times to get your net price. You take 100 minus 26, 100 minus 15, and 100 minus 5. So you get 74%, 85%, 95%. You multiply those three things together, and that gives you your net price factor. So when you go back and look at this video again, remember, this is how you get your net price factor when you have stacked discounts there. And I'm going to explain it a little more in detail here in just a moment. So instead of what we would call a 46% discount, this is actually only 40 point something. Let's look at it here. 100 minus 59.755. It's a 40.245% discount. And I'm gonna freeze it there so everybody can kind of see that we're not adding these things together. We're going to multiply instead. And I'm going to show you why this works, or how this works. Oof. Learn how to computer, sir. Okay, so basically what you're doing here, and I'm going to do this the long way, is our price, or the list price, is $455.20. The first thing you're going to get is a 26% discount, right? That's our first discount. So I'm going to move this over a little bit, give myself a little more room. The 455.20 times the 26% discount, that is 118.35. All right. Now, I'm going to take my original list price minus this discount here. That leaves me with 336.85. Our next discount level is 15%. So now I'm going to take this new number times the 15%, and that's $50 off. So my new thing here is my price here minus my discount is $236.32 or $286.32. And then we get one more discount of 5%, which is 0.05. So this times 0.05. Okay, and let's turn all these in. Let's turn these into money. Turn these into percentages. Okay. And this total here if you total these three things up, you get a total discount of $183.20. All right, so if we do this correct, our price is going to be $272. Okay, so all these steps is what we're achieving by doing this little bit right here. How do we feel? How do we feel about that? All right. So we did all this work just to get here. Here's our shortcut. Our net price factor, which is what you multiply our list price. Thank you, Andrew. Times your list price to get your price. Okay. Much easier than going through all the steps here. Much, much easier. So if I figure my net price factor here, which they already gave it to us, which is 0.59755, 0.59755. That is our percentage. Don't like that. Let me come out a couple places. 59.76% is going to be our net price factor, which means our discount rate is going to be there we go. No. I'm really going to lose my mind here. Minus, there we go. I'm really dying over here, guys. Plus, there we go. It's going to be count rate is 40.25% after I finally get to it, which is what we figured earlier, right? So net price factor, our net discount rate, and if you add these two things together, they should equal to 100%. Now, what you're seeing here, if you notice, if you add these up right here, just put them out on a piece of paper, you'd actually get 100.01%, and that's your rounding error. But we can just spread that out a little bit to get us where we need to be. Now, they're calling this number here our single equivalent discount. All right. So your net price factor, which we learned to figure here, which is 100% minus 20, 80%, 100% minus 15%, 85%, 100% minus 14%, 86%. We multiply those three things together, we get our net price factor. One minus that is to be your single equivalent discount. That is all there is to it. Okay. I'm going to stop here for a second for questions. I know somebody has some. I know I'm moving through this pretty quickly, but we don't have a whole lot of time. So that's why I want to stop, make sure if you have any questions, we make time. Going once. Not even from you, Kelly? No questions? All right. I only got two people showing their faces, so And like I said, I know Kalia, she never has any questions. She's always just, on the ball. Now, once again, our trade discount rate is a 33%, a 15, and a 5. And okay, there we go. Now, and that's how we used to refer to it as what's your discounts? You get 33, a 15, and a 5. Okay, that's kind of how you just, that's kind of the lingo for it. Net price factor, 100 minus this, 100 minus this, and 100 minus this. All of them put in decimal form and multiplied together. Now, here's a new symbol, the little squiggly equal sign. That means approximately equal to. So when you see that, they're telling you that this thing goes much further out. And we can always look and see how much further out it goes. 0.67 times 0.85 times 0.95. See, they rounded it right here. Look over to the right, that's a 5. It means we add 1 here. That's how they get 54102. Or 54103, excuse me. But in actuality, it's 541,025. And you're going to find that sometimes in these problems, they give you a little bit of you're going to be up a penny or so, and it's because you didn't round like they did. So you have to be really careful. Because you're looking here, they say round the net price factor and single equivalent discount to 5 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6 decimal places would be a little bit more accurate, but pay attention to what they're telling. And then we're going to take 100%, which is 1, minus this rounded to 5 places, and that is going to give us our net equivalent discount. And these two numbers here should always equal to, if you add them back together, 100%. Okay. Net price factor, your single equivalent discount rate added together should equal to 100%. Your trade discount, well, is going to be your list price, whatever they give us here, times your single equivalent discount. There you net price. Go back up to our list price, multiply it times our net price factor, our approximation here, rounded, and that should be our net price. Once you do it a few times, it comes pretty easily. And then you can always go back here and look and see exactly how these were formulated. And maybe your numbers may or may not be the same as these. It's going to be done exactly the same way. If you happen to have the problem with the same number, you kind of got over here, right? So number 15, a catering company has some items with a list price of $3,000. If the supplier extends trade discount rate 35, 30, and 5, you get a 35, 30, and 5, find the net price using the net price factor complement method. 35%, 30%, 5 cents. 100% minus 35 is 65. So they take it all down here. 100% minus 30% is 70. Just what we've been doing already. 100% minus 5%, 95. We have all these 3 in decimal form. We multiply them together. Do they give us? I don't think they say how many places to round that to. So let's look and see if it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is what they did last time. Let's see how exact they were on this. 0.65 times 0.7 times 0.95. Okay, so it came out to 5 places on its own, have to round. That's why they didn't ask you to do that. List price times your net price factor, going to be what your price is, what they're calling net price, what's going to be your cost. These are all the same, guys, all the same. Okay, so now they just got to give you a complicated one here with lots of different items. The blenders have a different discount rate. The toasters have a different discount rate. The coffee mills, different discount rate. Juicers, different discount rates. You have to go in and figure out your net price factor on each one of these. And let's look at it in a spreadsheet right quick. Okay, so $20.15 and 15. Change all that into there. Now, and if we were to set this up, we were doing the math and we had our little PEMDAS going for a while. Our why am I losing my mind here? Can't remember words now. Okay, so our net price factor, gosh, is going to look something like this. Remember we let's see if this works for me here. If it's 100 or if it's 1. No. There we go. All right, so what we have is we have 100% minus this times 100% minus this times 100% minus doggone it. What is that going to be? B3? Some reason I'm not able to see this. I think it's because I got it squished up. Now, and this is why we learned that order of operations, because we have to do what's inside the parentheses first, and then do what's outside of it next. Now, our net price factor on this particular thing here is going to be 54%. Let's do a quantity. Let's do a list price. Our quantity on this is going to be 150. Nope, just 150. Just a number, dude. Just a number. And since it's a quantity, we don't need partials here. Our list price is going to be $49.95 a piece. Nope, we want that in money. Press again. Okay. So our total list price here is going to be the 150 times the price. Now this is total what the merchandise is worth on a retail price. So our extended total is going to be this times this number times this number, 4075.92. What did I get wrong? $20, $15, $20. Oh, it's a 15 and a 15, not a 20, $20 and a 15. So I changed that. 4330, 66.5. Change that to money so it rounds. Okay. Now the reason I kind of this up the way I did, let me make it just a little bit larger, is because now we've made it a whole lot easier to do all these other ones. Now my discounts are 20, 10, and 10. It goes ahead and figures it for me. My new quantity is 300. My new list price is 38.88. 75.58.27. So now we can just use this same formula and spreadsheet to do it over and over again. Our next one's a 30, a 9, and a 7. Our new quantity is 18. And our new price is $244.30. 2605.06. So we can use the same spreadsheet just to keep recreating this over and over and over again. Now, once you have all these, once you've figured all these up and you have them added up, which let's just go ahead and say their numbers right. Okay. Now, they give you an extra 5.5% discount. So that's 0.055 on your discount rate. You're going to take this extra discount, 0.055 times this number here. That's what you're going to discount in dollars. You're going to subtract it from your invoice subtotal to get your new price. So you've been discounted all through here. You want extra discount. Now, sometimes, and I was hoping to get to it. Let me pause right here for you guys. That way you can look at it again. Now, sometimes you're going to get a discount for an early payment. Okay. Now, pay attention here because under terms, this becomes, it looks similar to your discount rate, but this is not what they're telling you. This is your terms L. What this is telling you is you get an extra 2% off if you pay that invoice within 10 days. If you don't, then you have to pay the regular discount rate. And once again, I am going to make this where you guys can pause it and look at it because we are quickly running out of time. I spent a lot of time on the other deal. Okay, credit for partial payment. Oh, this is a partial payment. All right, so you have an invoice amount of 8303. Okay, you make a partial payment of $2,400 within this 2%. Okay. Now, what that means is off your invoice, this $2,400 is worth more than $2,400 off your invoice. And the way you figure that is you're going to take your credit for partial payment is going to be equal to your partial payment divided by 100% minus 2%. So that's 0.98, 98%. So you made a $2,400 payment. You get to take $2,448.98 off of your invoice because you paid within this time period here. So your new total is going to be your original invoice amount minus your partial payment with your credit for partial payment added in. And this is all stuff. You guys, this chapter 7 is stuff that if I did over and over and over again, and although I always worked in similar industries, they were still separate, industries, whether they were lubrication equipment or buying pipe or doing, all sorts of stuff. But this is all standard over across a lot of industries, just like the discount rate is. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute. Do we have any questions on the credit for partial payment? Nope. Then we figure it out. Now here's one. Using the ordinary dating method, calculate discount date to next date for transaction. Now, here's the shortcut that I'm going to use. And this is one of the other reasons why I had Excel up. Is because Excel can do a really cool thing here. Which is, well, this one's pretty easy. You get 10 days to pay it to get your discount. 10 days from June 5th is June 15th, right? Now, let's say it's 6/5, we'll use 23. They usually stay away from leap years and whatnot. And get 10 days. Now, if I take that date plus the number of days, that gives me my day, what date it is. Now, notice how I put it in. I put this thing in just like a date. I put that thing in as a whole number. It gave me a date back. Now, if you want to know when it gets a little more complicated and instead of having to go to a calendar and calculate it out, well, I'm going to change for our net price. I am going to change 10 days to 45 days. And when I do that, that gives me July 20th, which is July 20th. Otherwise, you just got to go count days. And there's various methods for that. They outline that in the book. They're mostly tedious. Okay. They're not hard. It's just mostly tedious. And the way you would probably do this one is, let's look at a calendar. I'll look here. No. Can I bring that over? Well, I cannot bring that over. Is you would look at a calendar and go, okay, there are, I don't know how many days left. How many days are in June, guys? You might remember the thing where you do the 30. Okay. So you know there's 30 days in June, which means we left 25 days. All right. And then another 20 days on top of that would be July 30th. And they're going to do this. They're going to do this across multiple months to make it a little more complicated. I just like using the spreadsheet, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Another one. So February 10th. $10 days, which would be February. Okay. Oh, okay. This one here is giving you, now you have different terms here. This is from end of month. This stands for receipt of goods. Okay, so are they going from end of month here? Okay, so using end of month, a receipt of goods and extra dating methods, calculate the discount date and net date for the transaction. Unless otherwise specified, the net date is 20 days after the discount date. Okay, so, well, let's look here. The discount date is going to be your date of invoice here, your end of month, how many days in February? I never remember those. 28 days in February. Should have known that. Jeez. All right. So you're going to get 18 days free, right? So let's make sure I'm doing this right. I'm a little confused by this one. I don't know why I'm confused. Let's look here. Let's back into it. We have $70 days. Okay. So they're adding the 60 days plus the 10 days in, and that's where you're getting your discount date. And then they're adding the 20 days to get to May 11th. And I'm not sure why they're doing that like that, but let's just know that's why they're doing it. No, that's what they're doing. Okay, so let's look at this here. A retailer buys merchandise from a supplier with an invoice amount of 12,400. The terms of the sale are 6% within 20 days, net 30. What is the amount due in dollars in order the bill is paid by the 20th day? So you get to take the discount by the 20th day, right? So if you get to do that, you take that 12,400 times the 6%. That's going to give you your discount, $744 off of your original price here. That's your price. That one's pretty straightforward. Trying to get through all these guys so you at least see them. You purchase the merchandise with an invoice price of $19,300. Terms of sale are 5% off within 15 days, net at 45. What does the net amount due in order of a partial payment is made on the 15th day? All right, so remember, we're going to take the 100% minus 5%, which is 0.95, and divide it by your partial payment here. And that is because your partial payment is going to be worth more to you than the actual 10,800. Your partial payment is actually worth 11,368.42. We take that off of our original invoice, and then we're going to have to pay the rest of this without a discount. Okay, that was what I wanted to get through. I know we run a little bit over, but I wanted to get through that entire chapter, at least so you guys could see the problems. Go back and look at those. So, any questions? And I'll tell you what I will do. I will go ahead and end the recording. So whoever wants to leave, I know it's getting late, they can leave. And if anybody wants to stay and they have questions, then I will be here. No problem, Sydney. If you have any questions, just hit me up. You too.